Summary and 6 Key Takeaways from The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. The Alchemist is a classic novel in which a boy named Santiago embarks on a journey seeking treasure in the Egyptian pyramids. After having a recurring dream about it and on the way meets mentors, falls in love. He learns the true importance of who he is and how to improve himself and focus on what really matters in life. Santiago, a shepherd boy, has a recurring dream about a child who tells him to find a hidden treasure, if he travels to Egyptian pyramids. An old woman tells Santiago that this dream is prophetic and that he must follow its instructions. Santiago is uncertain, however, since he enjoys the life of a shepherd. Next, Santiago meets a mysterious old man who seems able to read his mind. This man introduces himself as Melchizedek, or the King of Salem. He tells Santiago about good and bad omens and says that it is the shepherd boy's duty to pursue his personal legend. Santiago wavers briefly before selling his flock and purchasing a ticket to Tangier, in northern Africa, to which he travels by boat. Shortly after he arrives there, a thief steals all of Santiago's money, so the shepherd boy decides to make enough money to return home. He finds work in the shop of a crystal merchant, where Santiago makes improvements that reap considerable financial rewards. After 11 months of working in a shop, Santiago is unsure of how to proceed. Should he return to Andalusia a rich man and buy more sheep? Or should he cross the vast Sahara in pursuit of the hidden treasure of his dreams? He joins a caravan traveling to Egypt. Santiago meets an Englishman who wants to learn the secret of alchemy, or turning any metal into gold. From a famous alchemist who lives at an oasis on the way to the pyramids. While traveling, Santiago begins listening to the desert and discovering the soul of the world. The caravan eventually reaches the oasis, and there Santiago meets an Arab girl named Fatima and falls in love with her instantly. The caravan leader gathers the travelers together and tells them that tribal warfare prevents them from continuing their journey. Santiago wanders from the oasis into the desert and, seeing two hawks fighting in the sky, has a vision of an army entering the oasis. Because attacking an oasis is a violation of the rules of the desert, Santiago shares his vision with the oasis's tribal chieftain. Soon afterward, Santiago is confronted by a black-garbed, veiled stranger with a sword, who sits atop a white horse. It is the Alchemist. The tribal chief arms his men, and they are prepared when the oasis is invaded. The Alchemist offers to cross the desert with Santiago. Soon the two men enter into an area of intense tribal warfare. Warriors hold the two men captive, but eventually continue their journey. The Alchemist tells Santiago that he needs to return to the oasis, and that the rest of the trip is Santiago's to make alone. Santiago arrives at the Egyptian pyramids and begins to dig. He finds nothing buried in the ground. Thieves beat and rob him of his money. After he tells them of his dream, though, one of the thieves recounts his own dream about a buried treasure in the sacristy of a church. Returning to Andalusia, Santiago goes back to the church where he dreamed of the treasure near the pyramids. He digs where he slept, beneath a sycamore tree, and there it is, Santiago's treasure. Key Takeaways from The Alchemist and Quat, by Paulo Coelho. Number 1. Follow what your heart desires. Listen to your heart and follow what your soul desires. This is the way to make your dreams come true and live the life that you've imagined. Number 2. Know that you will fail. Failure is inevitable as you fulfill your personal legend. Don't let it stop you, just learn the lesson and move on. Failure is progress. Number 3. Maktub, it is written. Everything that happens for a reason is a recurring theme in The Alchemist, the belief being that all actions are fate, by God. Number 4. Fear is the biggest obstacle. You know this from experience. Scary things are never as bad as you think, but your mind makes the fear bigger than the actual thing. Number 5. Find the extraordinary in the ordinary. Being grateful for the small things grounds you and gets you living in the present moment away from past events that can diminish the joy. Number 6. The ripple effect. When you strive to be the best version of you, everything around you becomes better too. Use yourself to spread the love, joy and happiness to others around you and you'll notice a positive change in yourself. The Alchemist is a classic and one of my favorite books. It's deep, thought-provoking, a great story, and shares some of the best principles. It's sold over 65 million copies. 315 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Guinness World Record for the most translated book.